What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a sound challenge where we're going to put the Focal Bathys MG headphones up against the Noble FoKus Apollo headphones. Now this one I've been asked about in the comments. They wanted to know how the MGs would compare to the Apollos. So I wanted to go ahead and drop a quick sound challenge video and actually answer that question for myself, because I think it's a really good question. So we're going to go ahead and get that popping here on Rhino Tech. So if you want to see price specs and app breakdowns for either one or each of these headphones, I'll leave links in the description below to my unboxing videos for both. And I'll also leave links to where you can pick up one or both of these headphones if you are interested. All right, so we are, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, we are back in. We're going to start off with the Bathys MGs. We are in the Focal name app. So let's go ahead and quickly show you my EQ settings. Here's my EQ setting. Kind of got that V shape. I like it. I get a really good response rather. I don't get to say returns. Really good response out of that. So we'll go rock that. I do have my personalized, my sound personalization turned on as well for these. So I'm suited and booted, ready to go. So let's go ahead and get up to our optimum listening level. All right, that's where I like it. Okay, and let's go ahead and get our song queued up. We got our first song ready. Let's go ahead and let's flip the camera, put the MGs on. Love how soft these ear pads are. Very, very comfortable. All right, I have noise canceling turned on. I did not show you guys that, so I'm going to show you right now. It is set to silent. Okay, so just so that you guys can see that. So now we're going to go ahead and get into our music. Let's get our cutaway. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. Song number one, Focal Bathys MGs. Let's get it. Very clear, very crisp vocals. Volume, fantastic. Don't have to turn them up. Again, very clear. Let me make sure I'm locked in. They felt awkward, but they're good now. Ooh. I love how crisp the vocals are. Yeah, you're getting all the nuance, her breathing rhythm, her enunciation, like the B's, P's, and T's popping. Very clear. It just sounds so good. I love how the background vocalists come in. They fill in that space. Again, just your standard sound stage. They sound really clear. They sound really, really clear. All right. Let's go ahead and get these switched out. I'm gonna show you my settings for the I was about to mention something, but I'm gonna hold that off until I'm done. I'm gonna show you my settings for the FoKus Apollo headphones, and we'll see how they handle song number one. Stay strapped in. All right, we're back in. We got the FoKus Apollos on paired up. We are in the Noble FoKus app. Real quickly, I want to show you guys my EQ settings for them. This is how I rock them. Now, I wish that they had the ability to have that EQ curve like the Rex 5s and the Amadeus have. I really wish that feature was set on these ones here, because that would be fantastic for these headphones if they had that feature. Hopefully, a software update and the firmware update will give them that functionality somewhere down the road, because that would be great. Again, like I said before. All right, let's go ahead and one more thing. I always want to let y'all know that I do have LDAC turned on for the FoKus Apollos, so they are using their high-res audio codec. So we are in our song here. So let's go ahead and get the headphones on. I'm telling you, sometimes you just forget how comfortable a pair of headphones are, like their ear cups and everything. These are one of the ones that hit that spot. All right, let's go ahead and get the. Well, no, let's get the camera flipped over first before we get our cutaway. All right, there we go. And make sure I'm locked in here. Feels like I'm kind of awkward. I am. Yeah. Okay. I'm good. All right. So enough fooling with that. All right. Let's go ahead and do a quick test. Make sure we are golden here. Are we not golden? Okay, we are golden. All right. I just wanted to make sure. All right. Here we go. Let me make sure we had our optimal listening level too. All right, we are there. All right, here we go. Now we're ready. Song number 1, FoKus Apollos. The song is "Feeling Good" by Dominique Feels of Me. I know I'm butchering the name, but I failed to mention it before we started, so I want to mention it now. Let's get to it. Okay. All right. I like the clarity. I just wish they sound kind of low. Well, not low, but they could go up a couple ticks, but they have a wider sound stage. And I like how clear the background vocalists are too. They sound a little bit more spread out than on the AG or the MGs. Let's turn this up a couple notches. Okay, that's good. All right, that's where they should be at my listening point. But you're getting great nuance, and her clarity is very good. I mean, the way they sound. And I love how, again, the background vocalists, nice and clear, but they sound a little bit more spacious. Excuse me. That's, again, I love the clarity. I love the clarity of them. I love the nuance. And again, the sound stage nice and wide. So you got that airy sound. It sounds really, really good. Just you feel like it's missing a couple things. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to switch these up. We'll get these off. And we're going to start song number 2. All right, we are back in. We got song number 2 up. E40, You and That. Let me get this right. I like the way this leans. All right. I like the way it looks that way. All right. E40, You and That, featuring T-Pain and Candy Girl. We got the MGs on. Let's get the camera flip. Get our cutaway. All right, here we go. Song number 2. Let's get it. Okay. I like the bass. Again, don't have to worry about the volume. Again, very clear vocals. Okay. This T-Pain, his vocals nice and clear, but the auto-tune tinny, not piercing. Okay. Let's turn this up a couple notches. All right. Very clear. I like that punch. I don't even have to go up too high because these guys really they really produce a lot of sound, a lot of volume. Now we got E40 coming in. Let me turn this back down. All right. Very clear. I like it. All right, you got good, decent bass, nice punch to it. The low end, the fade out is nice. It fades away and just disappears. I love how it does that. Again, ripples in the pond. It does a really good job there. It just sounds really good. I'm noticing some things, but man, they sound very good. Again, very, very clear sounding. T-Pain's auto-tune, tinny, not piercing, but not at that piercing point, but then it does sound nice and clear. All right, so let's go ahead and get these swapped out with the FoKus Apollos. We're gonna pop these in. We doing this in real time. All right, let's back the song up. All right, do a quick test. All right, we are there. All right, let's make sure we lined up right here. Okay, we lined up according to the cameras. Try to keep it kind of even or straight. A little OCD on that. All right, we're locked in. FoKus Apollos, song number 2, our bass test. Let's do it. All right, good punch. With the original bass hit. It fades away nicely. Kind of cuts off. T-Pain comes in nice and clear. The auto-tune tinny but smoothed out so it's not as piercing. All right, let's turn this up a little bit. A little bit more. Okay. Now this got good bass. I mean, is it head rattling? No. But it sounds clean. Even if I turn it up, it sounds nice and clear. Now the vocals sound very, very clear. You can hear everything. You're not. Oh, okay. Sound again. You got that vocal clarity. The bass is decent. It's not like a thumping bass, but it's clean. And you do get a little punch, and again, the fadeaway kind of cuts off. But I mean, other than that, it sounds really good. Again, I like the fact that how balanced the mids and highs are on these, and of course, with that wider soundstage, everything's a little bit more airy too. So that helps out when it comes to the mids and highs and stuff. In this one, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion only. I'm no professional at this, but I just by what I hear, this is what it sounds like to me. All right, so let's go ahead and get these guys flipped over to our third song. All right, we are back in for song number 3. We've got Kenny G Home, our instrumental. Let's go ahead and get the cameras flipped and get our cutaway up. There we go. All right, here we go. We got the Bathys MGs on. Let's get it. Man, really crisp mids and highs. That high keys are very crisp. Okay, decent transition from the high keys to the low keys. Ooh, I could turn these down a little bit. All right. Man, these things get really loud. But that saxophone is crisp. Oh. Again, you got the nice little rumble with the keyboard, with the low keys. But man, I like the balance too. Very clear. Man. Getting that nice little rumble with the low keys too. And they're sprinkled around in there. All right, I like that. So you got some really good detail. I wish the low end was a little bit more had a little bit more prominence to it. Like especially from the transition, you can hear the transition and everything from the highs to the low keys. But I wish, and then you got the low key hits during the song. I wish they were a little bit more of a oomph to it. When listening to that. All right, let's go ahead and get these guys switched out. I'm going to put on the Apollos. Quick test. We are ready to go. I feel crooked with these. Why do I feel crooked? I don't know. All right, we're good. All right, here we go. We're locked in. I'm checking my other monitors to see what I look like. I look kind of off kilter a little bit. There we go. All right. Okay, here we go. Song number 3, FoKus Apollos. Let's get it. And right at the top, nice high keys. Yeah, good transition from a high keys to the low keys. Very clear. I love how crisp that saxophone is. Again, you got good balance between the two. Between when I say the two, I mean the saxophone and keyboard. You got that. Again, you got the low keys when they hit. You got a nice little rumble, not too prominent, but it's definitely there, which is good because sometimes that type of detail gets lost. Man, that saxophone is just silk. Oh, it's just so good. All right. It sounded really, really crisp. I absolutely loved it. All right. Man, that was a really good sound. Again, I like that wide sound, the wider sound stage, because you got a little bit of airy space in there. Made it sound really, really clean. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead. Let me take these off. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get this cleaned up here. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about these two headphones and the 3 songs, and then we'll go ahead and pick our winner of this sound challenge. Stay strapped in. All right, we are back in, and this has been a great sound challenge between the Focal Bathys MG headphones and the FoKus Apollo, Noble FoKus Apollo headphones. Sorry, just a really great head-to-head. I'm very glad that you guys out there in the comments, you know who you are. Asked the question to see exactly how the Focal Bathys MGs would handle or would compare to the FoKus Apollos, the Focal Apollos. Listen at me. Anyway, going into our first song, all acapella, the Feeling Good by Dominique Fields. Sorry. Both of them did a really good job. The more louder of the two is the Focal Bathys MGs. These are the louder headphones. These guys' volume level gets up there. But they both did a really good job with clarity when it came to the vocalists, both lead and background. The mids and highs on the Focal Bathys, they were very, very, I want to say rich. I guess that's the best way to describe it, in my opinion. Kind of, but very clear. Rich. I would say that. When it came to the vocalist, you still got your nuance and everything, the enunciation and everything, her breathing rhythm and all. You still got all that. That wasn't going away, which is great. So you still had that. But again, just the mids and highs. I don't know. Maybe I had to tune them again a certain way to bring it down maybe a notch or two. I know when I turned them down, the mids and highs sound a little bit better. They didn't have that richness to them, so they were really nice, smoother. Really, excuse me, nice and smooth, and a little bit more. I'm missing the word. I'm just going to say they sound a lot better once I turned them down from my preferred listening level. Once I turned them like 2 notches down, it kind of smooth, it kind of evened out and everything. They sound really clear and everything. On the FoKus Apollos, again, these guys have the wider sound stage of the two, which kind of helped these when it came to the vocalists, because they sound like there's a little bit more airy, more spacing between them. They got the little airy sound. Both lead and background vocalists were very clear on the Apollos. It's just their natural volume sounded a little low. Had to turn it up a couple notches to get it to where I like the sound of them. Where I would prefer my preferred listening level would be at that, or they should be at rather. I hope I ain't confusing anybody. Anyway, again, you just like the MGs, you did get the nuances, her singing, her enunciation, the way she popped her P's, B's, and T's, her and everything like that. You still got all that stuff with them, except for instead of having to turn them down like I had to do with the MGs, I had to turn these up to get to where my preferred listening, or where they sound really good at in that point. Now moving on to the second song, with the MGs, I got good bass knock on these. Again, that kind of, once I turned it down, I kept it down low, so not low, but I kept it down a couple notches. I still got that nice punchy bass, and the vocalists were nice and clean, nice and clear. T-Pain with his auto-tune, tinny sounding. Now that I had it down at a couple notches below my preferred listening level, the auto-tune didn't get close to that piercing sound. Once I turned it down, at that, it was like you could definitely hear the difference, and it didn't get to that point where it's piercing of the ear, so it made it very comfortable to listen to. But man, these guys get very, very loud. There's no other way around it. They just do. As far as, again, I'm sorry, I'm about to mention E40. His vocals, his lyrics, very clear. I mean, both of the vocalists on here were very clear. I could hear everything they were saying. Again, the mids and highs are real rich. I don't know what it was, but they came off real rich on this one. But again, once I turned them down, they were fine. Going over to the FoKus Apollos, you did get a little bit of bass at the level that I had them at. And remember, I did have to turn them up a couple notches. So at that point, you got a nice clean bass. The fade out was nice and nice and smooth, longer than on the Bathys. No, I'm sorry. The fade out was nice here, but it kind of cut off on the FoKus Apollos, but still was smooth until it did. I almost got my results mixed up there. Sorry about that. But again, T-Pain, E40, very clear, very clean sounding. The auto tune, again, there was no sign of no potential sign of piercing, having that piercing sound. With the Apollos, I'm about to call them the MGs, the Apollos, but they did sound really, really good in my opinion. Again, that's that wider sound stage, spread out the vocalists, gave everybody some good. Sound like it gave everybody some good spacing and everything, and it sounded really, really clean. Now going into our third song, Kenny G, Home. Again, just the mids and highs on these guys made that saxophone sound so crisp, and it made the high keys also on the keyboard sound really nice and crisp. Let's take a step back and talk about the keyboard. When you had the high keys, the transition from the high keys to the low keys, you could hear it. And it didn't go by the wayside with the MGs. I just wish it had a little bit more punch, a little bit more prominence in the song when those keys were struck during the course of the song. There, I wish it had a little bit more oomph. And when it came to that, but again, you still heard it. You can still hear it throughout the course of the song. But that saxophone, even when I had to turn down the way I did, very crisp. Man, it sound really clean on that one. And the high keys too. They sound really crisp at the beginning before the transition. But man, them high keys were something else on here on the MGs. And then switching over to the FoKus Apollos. Now, this I think is a little bit more helped them out a little bit. I think this was a little bit more in their wheelhouse, in my opinion, where you've got the wider sound stage, which helps with songs like this, where you're not looking for bass or a bass response or anything like that. Even if you did you got the crisp high keys, nice, and you settled into the low keys. Again, you're not too prominent of punch on the low keys, but it was definitely there. Saxophone comes in. Again, with that wide sound stage, it already sounds crisp, but then you got that airy and this sound to it. It just sounds really good. And again, you got that balance with the keyboard as well. Wide soundstage. It would just sound really, really good on that. Um, it was just again just fantastic. Again, you just feel like you're missing something there. But with the Apollos, well, if I had to walk out the door with just one of these, as far as sound goes, um, which one would I take with me? Um, well, for me, it would be the Bathys MGs. Why, the reason why is because I got that good balance of bass and all three bass, mids, highs. I got that. I got volume that checks that box as well. And you got the mid, you got the crisp. Let me back up. You got the crispness of the mids and highs. That's box number one. You got the box number two. You got good clean bass, and box number three. You got volume. All right, so that you mix them up. I mean, of course, I can go into the EQ and I can fine tune the mids and highs where I would get the best out of them. I think I do, but I could always go back and fine tune that. And that's what I get out of these guys. They sound really good, but then you can also fine tune it and make them sound better. I love the FoKus Apollos, but they only check 2 of the 3 boxes I need for them to move on. You got nice, clean mids and highs. They sound fantastic. You got bass. It's subtle bass, but you do get a nice kick. I wish you could get a little bit more of a oomph out of them, but you do get that. But the missing on the natural volume of these guys naturally are low sounding. Again, you got to either turn them up in order to get the sound, the volume that you want out of them. But man, they do sound very clean. Again, especially with the I guess you would say audiophile type songs where they're more leaning towards vocals and instrumentals, as opposed to bass. You do get, don't get me lie, you do get some decent bass out of these. So, but again, like I said, I think these are more geared towards the audiophile listener, because these do have a dual driver setup with the dynamic driver as well as the planar magnetic driver. So you do have the pluses and minuses of both of those in these headphones. And one of the minuses of the planars, in my opinion, that I found is that the natural volume of them is a little low in my dealings with planar magnetic drivers. So, but again, very clear sounding. I love the sound of it. Love the sound stage on them and everything. These guys are heavy in my rotation still, despite their flaws with the planar magnetic driver. But I would definitely, me personally, I would go with the MGs. Like I said, I get all my boxes checked, and I can adjust my EQ settings to fix or sweeten up how these guys sound. But then one thing I wish the Apollos had access to was that EQ curve. Like, say for instance, the Amadeus here, they have that EQ curve option in the app, which definitely helps out with the sound. I bet you if Noble finds it in themselves to add that feature to the Apollos, I think we're possibly having another conversation here, or so. I just think it would be a great feature to have for these guys. All right, so again, my winner on this one is the Bathys MGs, and that will wrap up this sound test, or sound challenge rather, between the Focal Bathys MGs. I'm about to call them MGs, and the Noble FoKus Apollo headphones. And if you like what you see, go and hit the like button. If you want to join me as I continue to do videos like this and others, I do got I have another sound challenge that I'm definitely want to get done. Again, from the comments section, I actually even brought a pair back into the fold so I could do this. All right, so you definitely want to make sure, give me a like on this one, hit the subscribe and notification bell. That way you're notified when that video drops, along with other ones. I got unboxings. I got a gauntlet series to get started. I just got another set of headphones, and we're going to do an unboxing for them. We're going to release that next week. So you definitely want to be hitting that notification bell and subscribe. That way, when all this fun stuff hits, you will be known about it. And yes, I did pre-order the Bose Quiet Comfort, the QC Ultra Gen 2s. I did pre-order them. I'm still waiting on my Status Pro X's to come in. So we got a lot going on. And I even pre-ordered the Heavies earbuds. Heavies released the earbud. I pre-ordered for them. So that will be in October. And we got a lot going on. So definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to let it go. Let you guys go. I appreciate you coming in or just pulling up. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.